Thank you for opening the video. Smile Trouble Consultation Room. Do you all have stiff shoulders? Have you ever been told you have a straight neck? Do you feel that my symptoms may be due to cervical neuromuscular syndrome? If the symptoms are mildly unwell, self-care may relieve the symptoms, but when various painful symptoms of autonomic nervous system disorder appear, people start looking elsewhere for treatment. However, even with treatment, your symptoms are not improving, and you are worried about where to go, where to treat, and what kind of treatment to use. This video will answer those questions, so please watch until the end. People who use computers for long periods of time and people who use smartphones all day long to play games, email, or use SNS are more likely to develop cervical neuromuscular syndrome. My shoulders get stiff when I'm concentrating on my work. And my neck hurts too. Neck stiffness disrupts the balance of the autonomic nervous system, resulting in various symptoms. Parasympathetic disorder. Cervical neuromuscular syndrome causes multiple symptoms, including headaches, dizziness, panic disorder, menopausal symptoms, chronic fatigue syndrome, hyperhidrosis, irritable bowel syndrome, autonomic imbalance, palpitations, and unstable blood pressure. Other psychiatric symptoms include depression, irritability, anxiety, decreased thinking ability, and sleep disorders. Stiff shoulders are caused by stiff muscles due to the same posture, lack of exercise, stress, poor blood circulation, etc. Muscles that tend to accumulate lactic acid, a fatigue substance, become stiff and slow when oxygen is not distributed. This in turn leads to poor blood circulation, which becomes a vicious cycle. You probably feel stiff shoulders when you work at a desk or drive a car for long periods of time. In modern society, many people suffer from stiff shoulders because computers and smartphones have become indispensable. In general, there are various ways to relieve stiff shoulders, but it is said that moderate exercise improves blood flow, but I think it is meaningless unless the blood flow to the stiff part of the shoulder improves. Even if you learn that it is good to heat the stiff shoulders by taking a bath or using hot packs, etc., you may experience temporary effects, but as time passes, you will start to feel stiff again. Also, even if you massage or stretch the area that is stiff, it may feel relieved at the time, but as time passes, the stiffness will return. Finding the right information is quite difficult. Next, let's take a look at straight necks, which are common among people with stiff shoulders. Normally, the cervical vertebrae draw a gentle curve. A straight neck is a condition in which the original curve is lost when you continue to lean forward for a long time, such as when working at a desk. In the modern era where smartphones have become widespread, it is also called a smartphone neck. I suffer from stiff neck and shoulders. I get a headache when I use my smartphone or computer for a long time. My neck hurts and it's hard to turn around. It's hard to look up. You may feel tightness or pain around your shoulder blade. If these symptoms are left untreated, various other symptoms will appear. Symptoms of autonomic imbalance may appear, such as eye strain, dizziness, ringing in the ears, numbness in the hands and arms, anxiety, and depression. Keep these things in mind to avoid getting a straight neck. Don't use your smartphone or computer for a long time. Place your smartphone at eye level. Don't continue in the same position. Choose a desk and chair that suit you and sit with the correct posture. Take appropriate breaks, such as getting up from your seat and going to the bathroom, and relax by stretching your back and neck. Pay attention to the height of your pillow. Be careful if you are using a pillow that is too high. It is important to choose the correct size for you. If the pillow doesn't fit, use a towel to raise it to a height that won't put strain on your neck. Self-care is important, but if you need help from others, ask for it. Self-care is good for prevention, but once painful symptoms appear, self-care such as stretching does not improve the symptoms. Let's collect the correct information about stiff neck and stiff shoulders. Even if you try stretching, eating, etc. according to the information in books or on the internet, once the painful symptoms appear, they will not get better. I think this is also good as a preventive measure, but it cannot be called information on treatment that will improve symptoms. Think about where the nerve is being compressed. Is stiff shoulders due to pressure on the nerves in the area where the stiffness is located? For people whose symptoms do not improve even after various treatments have been applied to the stiff area, it is necessary to treat the correct area where the nerve is being compressed. And the techniques to treat it are important. The location of nerve compression is not a stiffness such as stiff shoulders, but a location where there is a distortion in the spine. In particular, if there is nerve compression at the location of cervical vertebrae distortion, the function of the hypothalamus and the brainstem will be noticeably affected, along with symptoms of stiff neck and stiff shoulders. When the function of the hypothalamus, which is the center of the autonomic nervous system, is affected, the balance of the autonomic nervous system is disrupted and symptoms of cervical neuromuscular syndrome appear. Symptoms of stiff shoulders then appear due to pain, numbness, and a feeling of paralysis in the areas where the nerves are compressed where there is distortion, neck, shoulders, and arms. Also, the blood flow in areas where you feel stiffness is affected by nerve compression, which disrupts the balance of the autonomic nerves that control blood vessel contraction and expansion. Therefore, even if the stiffness is treated, the symptoms do not improve easily. The area to be treated is the area with distortion. As the name suggests, the straight neck, which is common among people with stiff shoulders, is due to distortion of the cervical vertebrae, so by treating the distortion, the normal curvature can be restored. Cervical neuromuscular syndrome and straight neck symptoms include headaches, dizziness, panic disorder, menopause, chronic fatigue syndrome, hyperhidrosis, irritable bowel syndrome, autonomic imbalance, palpitations, unstable blood pressure, and when we treat cervical vertebrae distortion, such as fatigue, tinnitus, numbness in hands and arms, anxiety, and depression, the hypothalamus and the brainstem, which has been affected by nerve compression, returns to its normal function, and the symptoms improve. The hypothalamus is the center of the autonomic nervous system as well as the emotional and behavioral center, so it improves not only physical symptoms but also mental symptoms such as anxiety and depression. Cervical neuromuscular syndrome causes stiff neck and shoulders when concentrating on work. Neck stiffness disrupts the balance of the autonomic nervous system, resulting in various symptoms. People with straight necks also exhibit symptoms of autonomic imbalance. In order to relieve stiff shoulders, it is important to take care of yourself and treat the stiff area, but if the symptoms do not improve even after that, you should suspect a misalignment of the spine or cervical vertebrae. If there is nerve compression at the location of cervical vertebrae distortion, symptoms such as stiff neck and stiff shoulders and the function of the hypothalamus and the brainstem are affected, resulting in symptoms such as autonomic imbalance of cervical neuromuscular syndrome. The hypothalamus and the brainstem is also the center of the autonomic nervous system and emotional behavior, so treating cervical spine distortion will restore normal function and improve physical and mental symptoms. Even straight necks can be restored to their normal curvature by treating the distortion. If you would like to know more about cervical neuromuscular syndrome and information on the correct treatment to improve spinal distortion of the cervical vertebrae, please click on the URL of the Smile Consultation Room homepage in the summary section. There is no consultation fee. We look forward to your call. Thank you for watching the video.